Did get there, but they lost to Louisville in Atlanta. Now taking over at the quarterback spot is redshirt sophomore Alex Swieca. Another walk-on for this club. Good defensive pursuit on that run that got to the 39-yard line, a gain of about 5 or so.
You mentioned Alex Swieca being a walk-on. There are a number of walk-ons that have either earned scholarships or will in the near future because of the way they've produced. And I think that just speaks volumes to Brady Hoke and not only his ability to recruit scholarship players, but recruit some of the guys that could get scholarships elsewhere, but he's convinced them to come here and be walk-ons.
They keep it on the ground. Bouncing to the outside and then wrapped up at about the 42-yard line or so. Now, usually when you see number 18 for a Michigan player, you think Blake Countess. Well, that is not Blake Countess because Blake Countess will not be participating in this event today, but he is getting better despite the injury from a year ago, and that's great news for Michigan football fans because they feel like he's their best cover corner. I know pro scouts a year ago came in, watched Blake Countess and thought, boy, his fluid hips are amazing and how they feel like he would be able to make such a transition.
Well, at that corner position, you have to be able to change direction so rapidly and cover guys, look at the quarterback without having to look at your receiver, but run in one direction. That's what they mean about having fluid hips, and he is just that. And what a tremendous loss for the Michigan team last year when he went down in that Alabama game.
Good escapability here by Swieca.
Swieca doing a good job of delivering that ball on the run.
This will be a first down play at the 46. Good play action, good pocket, and a strike to the 44-yard line.
Take a look at this defensive line here. You got Taco Charlton there. He does a great job of getting his hands, getting separation, and getting them up. And that's one of the things the offensive linemen absolutely despise. When you stone a guy at the line of scrimmage and he gets his hands up and knocks the ball down, he didn't even get near the quarterback. You blocked him, but then he was able to still make a play. As an offensive lineman, you got to get those hands down. But as a defensive lineman, if you're not going to get there, get them up. Try and get in the way, make something happen if you aren't even get to the quarterback.
That has become more of an art, especially at the next level, hasn't it, John? I mean, J.J. Watt, of course, out of the Big Ten, out of Wisconsin, now with the Houston Texans, one of the best defensive ends in the league. He has really made that one of those things that other people are watching.
Yeah, he is. They call it the Watt swat now. And if you can knock that ball down and make something happen without getting to the quarterback, it's just as good as getting that sack. I've really liked what I've seen with Taco Charlton. He does a good job of using his hands. He doesn't let that offensive lineman get into his pads, doesn't let him get a hold of his numbers. And you saw quickly there on that last play, he did a good job of throwing a guy off, shedding that block, and making a play.
Well, the bookends defensive end-wise for Michigan right now are two young kids, but very, very thick, and what I call dense, as in their body. I mean, they are really strong in the lower portion. You're looking at guys like Chris Wormley, who wears 43 in white, and Taco Charlton, who wears 33 in white. Those are the two defensive ends in for Michigan right now. You will see them play this year. Wormley you saw a little bit before, but a very impressive kid.
Yeah, they both do a good job of using their bodies to their advantage. They are very strong in the lower body. And you're going to see a lot of bull rush out of some of those guys.
Bull rush coming here. Swieca avoids it and tosses a completion to the 34-yard line. Good pressure from the backside for the Wolverines. That pressure applied by number 54, Richard Ash.
But, you heard Coach talk about it earlier. They have to be able to apply pressure with 4, and they're using 4 right here. They're able to get it by a stunt and a game. Those 4 front rushers, the 2 defensive tackles, they have to apply pressure up front in that pocket. They got to squeeze that pocket and close it down in front, and the 2 defensive ends have to squeeze it from the side. Where I think they're going to be challenged, obviously, is when they play a team like Nebraska and Taylor Martinez. If you put, 4 guys rushing him, it's going to be hard to keep him corralled with just 4 guys, but it will allow those linebackers to be a little bit more free, maybe put a spy on them. Same with Ohio State and Braxton Miller.
Yeah, that's a good point. Mobile quarterbacks.
Mobile quarterbacks. They've always been a challenge for Michigan. It was option quarterbacks in the 90s, and now it's the mobile quarterback.
Anthony Hardison on the carry. And you can hear they're getting after it inside there for sure. Willie Henry, the redshirt freshman, in on the tackle.
Well, everybody out there right now is trying to earn a spot. And in this spring game, it's their last chance before they go to fall camp to make an impression on film with the pads on.
Henry, a high school teammate of Frank Clark there in Cleveland. 3rd down and long now for Alex Swieca. Harrison, the lone tailback. Will throw for it. And a good defensive play.
You're seeing a lot of play-action passes right now, and when I talked to Coach Hoke, I asked him what were some of the goals that they wanted to get out of this game. And he said, you know what, we need to obviously establish the run, but we also need to establish the play-action pass. We need to be able to sell the fact that we're running the ball and take some shots downfield. And right now they're working on that, but you got to hold on to the ball after you get it.
Well, a really good awareness by Ross Douglas, the freshman from Avon, Ohio, to pop it loose. We talked about some of the early enrollees. He's one of those guys. They love his speed. He runs a 4.40. As a running back in high school, he gained over 3,000 career yards. So if he picks one off, he knows what to do with it. Swieca with a handoff. Nothing doing up front. Again, no scoring in this one. It's just offense against defense. It's all a boastful thing afterwards on, I moved the ball on you, I reached the end zone, and the defense says, no, you didn't. Michigan has, for their first team offense, scored 1 touchdown today.
Well, the defense, in my opinion, has played very well, and they've done a great job, too. The emphasis has been on putting that pressure on the quarterback, and sometimes when you do that, you lose focus on being able to stop the run. And as you can see on these last couple of plays, they actually are doing a good job at both, putting pressure on the quarterback with 4 and being able to stop the run.
Swieca throws a quick slant, and that was a small window. He fired it right in there, and a beautiful completion to Michael Jaws, the tight end, the redshirt freshman from Novi.
He did a great job right there of looking off those defensive backs and then coming back to his second read and hitting Raymond Taylor.
Harrison trying to get to the 50-yard line, or Hardison rather, DeAnthony Hardison. Hardison trying to get in the mix for that tailback spot that, even though we talked about being wide open, it's still somewhat crowded, believe it or not. You're looking at 4 guys primarily vying for most of the PT for this offense.
It only takes one play, like we talked about in that quarterback situation earlier, especially with those running backs. They're going to need a stable of running backs to be productive this year.
Swieca looking up top. He's got to go to his 3rd, maybe his 4th option. And down he goes. A man that you were talking about moments ago, Taco Charlton. There's only so long you can keep him off. That was more of a secondary sack than anything else. Although, Lisa Byington, I bet you Roy Roundtree would tell you, I could have gotten open on that play.
Yeah, I don't know. What's that? Could you have gotten open on that play?
Yeah, I would have got open. I would have found a way to get open.
You're used to having the uniform on. Now you got the stocking cap and the winter coat. What's it like here to watch from the sideline?
It's crazy. It's bittersweet, but, I'm showing support to my guys, and, I'll bleed blue the rest of my life.
Give me a quick evaluation of the receiving core. You said you've been to a couple practices here this spring. What do you see from those guys right now?
Man, I see talented guys that's ready to work. Coach Chet got them guys out there blocking their tail off, and, they catching and running routes well. So, I'm ready for the season to start, and it's just a preview.
What is is in the near future here for Roy Roundtree?
Actually, I'm up here training for the draft 2 weeks. I finally know where I'll be heading. So, you know, just keep me in your prayers and just ready to make a team happy.
The biggest lesson that you learned, because you had some up and downs here in your career, you said you take away something from Michigan. What would it be in your career?
Just always stay focused, stay poised. You know, you never know when your opportunity is going to take a hand. And, you know, I made some great catches for Michigan. And, you know, I stood out a lot. So, you know, I never got down on myself.
The Denard Robinson era is now done, and now that the keys have been handed over to Devin Gardner, what will be his strength in running this offense?
Being a leader, you know, the vocal leader of the team, 134, and you know, he had that stride last year, a couple of games starting, and you know, I look forward to 134, and I feel like they got a lot on their chest to prove.
You guys, we're kind of transitioning into that pro-style offense, even in your bowl game. How easy was he in terms of picking that up and in terms of transitioning back then?
Oh, man, you know, Devin is a sports junkie. You know, he stay watching film. You know, he always wants to get better, and, you know, now it's his time, and I feel like it's time to show up and ready to grind.
We appreciate the time. Good luck.
Thank you for having me.
So Devin Gardner getting the approval from Roy Roundtree for good reason. Gardner on a quick toss. There's never been a question, John Jansen, about the strength of his arm as A.J. Williams, the sophomore from Cincinnati, hauls in that curl route. Never been the strength of his arm. The big question mark had always been his accuracy. It seems like he has fixed that problem.
Yeah, he has, and even on that route right there, it was just a quick out route by the tight end, and his accuracy has improved, but there's always going to be room for improvement. So instead of hitting that back shoulder, let's hit him in stride on that front shoulder. Those are going to be the little things that Al Borges, as you just saw there in the film, that he's going to take a look and see on this film what he needs to do better as the season approaches.
Not going to like that false start penalty, though, against his offense. Al Borges getting a bird's eye view. Not far from our vantage point on.
He looks a little lonely
He
up there.
does look lonely. But he's a smart man. He has the window closed. You know, Lisa was talking to him earlier. You're supposed to tell me I'm smart because I have a hat and scarf. Al Borges looked all tough because he had shorts on. Well, now we know why he had shorts on. He's up in the booth. 3rd down and long for his offense. Trips to the right of Devin Gardner. Stands tall, flushed. Frank Clark got him. Clark matched up with Michael Schofield. A lot being made of Taylor Lewan's return, and for good reason. But Schofield's a guy, John. This will, you know, when he plays his first game this year against Central Michigan, it'll be his 40th game. It'll be his 24th start. He's a guy who's a smart player. It helps to anchor the other side with a pretty big body, number 75.
Yeah, and you know, you look at the career that Michael Schofield has had. You know, it's been a little bit of ups and downs, being in there, being out, being replaced, and I got to give him a lot of credit. He's a very mentally tough kid, I think. He's done a great job of handling all the ups and downs. He's had a tremendous spring, and to be playing opposite and all that attention going over to Taylor Lewan, people have really, I think, missed out on the production that he's had recently.
Gardner eluding pressure, throwing, connecting to Funches, who fights for the first down. It's going to be short of it. Yeah, just to put a bow on that Michael Schofield story, 13 starts at the right tackle spot. It helps to get familiar with that position, and he is such. Strength by Devin Gardner to pull it down. That fake pump, when you come all the way through, that puts a strain on the arm. He's pretty good strength right there to show that he can pull it in. Brady Hoke talking about his offense and talking to his club moments ago. Listen in.
4th down. Second group, right here. I didn't see it. That's all. Let's go. Hurry up.
You know, why? Yeah, bail out. I didn't see it. What else are you going to say?
Plausible deniability.
Second group led by Brian Cleary. Uh-oh, pressure comes from Gordon. He slingshotted it out of there, but good pressure from Cam Gordon from the edge. The onus is on him and Brendan Byer for sure to replace Jake Ryan. And as you pointed out during our broadcast, not just physically, but also from a leadership standpoint.
Yeah, and right there you see a great move by a guy that's got speed, the ability to fit in a crack. He does a great job of narrowing his shoulders, cutting across that tight end's face, and using his speed to just beat him.
Clear with a hard count. Norfleet hemmed in, but able to get to the 40-yard line.
Another great example of just how elusive Norfleet can be.
Should have been a loss.
Yeah, and he's able to make a guy miss in the backfield, not just get back to the line of scrimmage, but then gain, 4 or 5 yards.
Norfleet out of Detroit Martin Luther King, ranked the 6th best running back in the country his senior year, 2-time All-State selection.
They'll really be able to use him as a receiver.